Morning, guys. It's Chris Pomay here at the University of Guelph Alumni Stadium, where the Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts are holding training camp again. And I have a very special guest with me this morning. He is a 7-time Grey Cup champion, and he's a CFL Hall of Famer, and you guys all know him as number 31, Mike Pinball Clemons. Good morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great, Chris. How are you today?
Doing well. Thank you so much for doing this. And I just want quick thoughts on the 2022 team last year and the playoff run against Montreal and winning that Grey Cup against Winnipeg and Regina.
Well, you know, they said if what you did yesterday still sounds good to you today, then you haven't done much today, right? So what we're to do is ahead of us, but we want to applaud, just one more round of applause for that 2022 team that took it all the way, took the next step. 2021, we hosted the Eastern Final, but weren't able to get there. 2022, you know, we just had the season that you desire to have when there's nothing else that can be done in that year because you've done it all. You've won the championship. And so we want to really, there are several guys that were with us a year ago that are no longer with us. So we want a big thank you, big shout out to all of those players, and then to the returning players as they are reporting back to camp. The veterans are reporting tomorrow. We just want to salute them and thank them, but say, hey, listen, we got to keep moving forward.
I was going to say, quick thoughts on McLeod, Bethel, Thompson, and now Chad Kelly's taken over the reins as quarterback of the Toronto Argonauts.
But McLeod is not just a tremendous quarterback, but a tremendous person. To know this guy is to love him. And so he did such an incredible job, and it's so important to him. It means so much. And as you see Chad Kelly come behind him, right, you can feel some of the energy that he possesses. But Chad has a different kind of energy. He is more excitable. He is got maybe he has this almost childlike approach at times. You know, we talk about that energy. Sometimes it's great to be childlike, not childish,
yes.
Right? And he has that childlike quality in him, and he makes everybody around him just excited and enthusiastic. With that, has a tremendous amount of talent. We saw that in the Grey Cup. Scored the last 10 points of the game, hey, we're so excited to see where this goes, because both of those guys are tremendous leaders, tremendous athletes, tremendous players, and now we see which way, you know, how things go, and as we do that, right, it's not say, oh, can he do it or not? No, he can do it, right? It's our job to make sure that we put all the things around him to make him successful.
What did you think of the off-season moves at your free agent signings and keeping the core together, and also the CFL draft adding to your team? How difficult is it to try to keep a defending Grey Cup champion coaching staff and roster in place nowadays?
Well, when you think of bringing our entire coaching staff back, and the number of changes that had occurred in the last couple of years, the previous staff, when we came in and we didn't we only renewed one of them, and that's Kevin Iben, or only one of them chose to be back, and that combination there, and then after the 2021 season, we had about half of our staff. Then this year, all of our staff has remained in play, and that's something that really creates a continuity. It solidifies us as a ball club in terms of our players coming in and being in familiar territory, the number of guys that we've brought back, and then the excitement around a few of the new guys. We're going to have a really solid football team.
Okay, and I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, Mike. What's your thoughts on the 150th anniversary of this great franchise, and also the 40th anniversary of that 83 Grey Cup team that brought back the Grey Cup to Toronto for the first time in 31 years, which I got to see with my late father, and it was an 18-17 win over BC on a Cedric Mentor touchdown at the end of the game.
Well, I have to bow there, right? Because 1873, right? 1873 was our start. That's when we were really originally a rowing team. That played rugby during the off season to stay in shape. And there's only a couple of years in the 1890s that we didn't take the field, other than the war years and the pandemic, right? And that was because all of the rowers had pull muscles, right? And so when you think about the history, the amount of history, and that 83 team is probably the most historic, the 31-year drought from 52 to 83, and the fandom, the glory that we found in that victory. It's important for us now to just keep that energy and keep moving on, and to be able to get to 150 years, you got to do a lot of things right.
Definitely, and I'm so happy you guys went back to this boat logo. I grew up with that, and it reminds me of my dad as well. Now, Mike, for someone who's never been to an Argos game or a CFL fan quickly, what would you tell them why they should come down to a game at BMO Field, or even the preseason game here June 1st at 7 o'clock against Ottawa at Alumni Stadium here in Guelph?
To go to an Argos game is to find a friend. Not just one, but a whole stadium full of it. It is the camaraderie, the energy, all of those things that you get when you play the game. Not to mention the most exciting game there is.
Okay, Mike, I want to say thank you so much for doing this, and I want to wish you and the Toronto Argonauts all the best in trying to repeat as Grey Cup champions for the first time since 96-97, which you're a part of that team as well. And that team was pretty darn special too, with Doug Flutie and Elite Don Matthews and all the great players on there. I want to say, Mike, thank you so much for doing this.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's okay. Go Argos.